In South Africa, access to information is very important because it is in line with the principles of democracy, transparency, and openness. Section 32 of the Constitution also gives everyone the automatic right of access to information. However, there are certain instances where information may not be given to members of the public. We will be looking at 7 examples on this. 1. Information supplied in confidence. PIA in section 37 provides that any access to information which a third party reveals in confidence to a public body may not be disclosed if it would affect future supply of that same information from the same source. There are exceptions to this. 1, where the third party has given consent, and 2, where the information is already publicly available. 2, protection of legal enforcement procedures and legal proceedings. Public body may refuse access to records if disclosure of such records would affect ongoing investigations or would enable the commission of a crime or would cause witness intimidation. 3. South Africa's defense, security, and international relations. The release of any information that could negatively affect the country's defense, security, and international relations is protected under PIA. It states that such information may not be released by the information officer. This information could relate to military tactics, intelligence information, and weapons. As an exception, records relating to the country's international relations, which have been in existence for 20 years, may not be refused. 4. Economic, financial, and commercial interests of South Africa. PIA in section 42 provides that an information officer may refuse access to records if disclosing these records would endanger the country's economic and financial interests. There are certain exceptions to this rule as well. It relates to publicly available records, information that has already been consented to in writing, and where the investigation results or the records, if revealed, would cause great environmental risk to members of the public. 5. Operation of public bodies. Public bodies may refuse access to information which relates to their internal workings. For instance, issues that have been mentioned in their opinions, in their reports, in their consultations, in their meetings that have to do with policy formulation or things that have been done in performance of a legal duty may not be released to members of the public. As an exception, the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act in Section 5 states that anyone who feels that his right has been violated or his right has been affected by any administrative action may make a request to any public body requesting for reasons for its administrative action. 6. Frivolous and vexatious reports. Any request that is unreasonably time-consuming or could lead to a waste of resources may be refused by a public body, especially where it feels it was done to provoke it or harass it or annoy it. It may decide to refuse access to that request. SAHA is currently in litigation with SAB for the court to determine what frivolous or vexatious requests, what a frivolous or vexatious request is. Lastly, commercial information of private bodies. Section 68 of PIA provides that where a request for records would reveal the trade secrets of a private body, then the information officer of such body may decide not to release such records. A good example of this is what happened between Money Web Property Limited and Nova Property Group in 2014, where Money Web Property Limited requested for access to the security registers of Nova Property Group, and the latter declined such requests. The court upheld this decision because, if done, it would reveal trade secrets of Nova Property Group. This concludes our video on instances where requests for information may be refused.